Hi, welcome to another episode of Hot Takes with me, the Silver Fox. Now, we all know Humza Yousaf is a bit of a moron, but this is easily provable by a stance he's taking by backing Michael Matheson. And that's despite not only this iPad, the current iPad scandal really, but also the previous problems he's had with waiting lists, with A&E, all sorts of problems. And the problem Humza Yousaf really has is that he's fallen into that trap that you can never be wrong, that you can never make a bad decision, that everything you do is always right. And it was, of course, Humza Yousaf who picked Michael Matheson for health. And so, therefore, if he fires him, it shows that Humza Yousaf chose the wrong man. And Humza can never be wrong. And so, because of this, because of his hubris and his pride, he is going to stand there and back Michael Matheson all the way, possibly all the way to the High Court. I don't know if he'll share a cell with him, but it's going to look bad. The optics are going to be terrible if what we think is on that iPad is on that iPad, and Humza Yousaf has backed him all the way. What he should have done, and what a real leader would have done, was drag him in the office and say, look, we'll save face. You can resign to say you want to deal with this problem privately, and that way I don't have to fire you. Make your decision. Either way, you're walking out of this office as the ex-health minister. That's how a real leader would have dealt with it. But of course, this is hapless Humza Yousaf, the Ken doll of politics. Smooth at the front and nothing up top. Let's have a look to see why he is sticking by his very bad choice. Here goes. So, Kendall still has faith in the Fondler, despite the iPad and A&E scandals. The man can do nothing right. He has been one walking disaster after another. And I jokingly said the other day that although Humza Yousaf was the worst health secretary ever, I said Michael Matheson is saying, hold my beer, I'm going to go for that record. And boy, is he really going for it. The First Minister threw his backing behind his under-fire Health Secretary, who was dealing with two crises and could be facing a vote of no confidence at Holyrood. Does that face look like someone who is deeply, deeply worried? He's a troubled man. Humza Yousaf has thrown his full backing behind his beleaguered Health Secretary, a man he chose, remember. Humza chose him. So Humza can't be seen to have chosen badly, can't be wrong. And this is because he's embroiled, despite him being embroiled in numerous scandals. Michael Matheson may face a vote of no confidence by the MSPs if he fails to hand over the iPad, which has racked up the £11,000 roaming data bill. And he faces further scrutiny as the latest A&E figures plunged to their lowest level since January 23, amid concerns that this winter is going to be the worst the NHS has ever faced. So it's now the worst for nearly a year, but we haven't even got to winter yet. So boy, is it going to be bad. Critics have claimed that the SNP minister is distracted by the ongoing row surrounding his parliamentary expenses incurred whilst in Morocco in just 1 week, and therefore must only be video, and so is undoubtedly fraudulent claim at the very least, and possibly something way, way worse. And we all know, we can't say for sure what it is, but we all know what we think. We're all pretty sure it's disgusting. The First Minister even stuck his neck out for his colleague last Thursday when he insisted that he shouldn't have to pay back his data bill, which he racked up while on a Christmas holiday in Morocco, and claiming that this was through parliamentary and constituency work. But he claims it, but he can't provide it. Now, in a real company, if you want to put your expenses in, you have to show the receipts. So we need to see these receipts. A spokesman for Mr. Yousaf was asked by the Scottish Daily Express if he still had faith in his health secretary, and he said yes. What else could he say? Because if he said no, it's tantamount to saying, I made a very poor choice, I got something wrong. That's never going to happen with Humza, is it? Humza, the man who's never wrong. When he then asked if he regretted his statement about how Mr. Matheson should not pay back the £11,000, just a day later he confirmed he would. He said he saw that Michael Matheson came back and considered the matter as an MSP and did what he thought was the right thing to do. Yet, for him, the right thing to do was pay this, make sure nobody ever inspects my iPad, and make sure I clear everything because I don't want anyone to know what I was looking at. When asked if he had expressed his full confidence in him, he responded, "We have not been required to do so because nobody's asked this question, but that they would back him in a no confidence vote." Well, Humza might, a few of the loyalists might, but there's plenty out there that won't. There's plenty out there that don't like Matheson. There's plenty out there that would take the opportunity to get rid of him. The Scottish Tories have suggested that they will seek a no confidence vote on the Health Secretary if he fails to submit his iPad for an independent investigation to see what he used during the data roaming for. He's so far refused to answer numerous questions about this scandal. He is absolutely under siege. He knows there is literally no way out of this. The only way he can deal with this is either resign and then destroy the iPad, or hand it over and be prepared to go to jail. There is choices. To add to Mr. Matheson's growing pile of issues, the worst weekly A&E statistics in January were recorded for the start of November. And in the week ending November the 5th, so last week, only 60.9% of emergency department attendees were seen whether in the allotted 4-hour allowance. Only 60%. A 40% failure rate. It's supposed to be 95% success. It's 60. This is a man who is in a position beyond his abilities. Way, way over promoted. Shockingly, 3,735 patients waited over 8 hours and 1,660 waiting over half a day, a 12-hour wait. So undoubtedly, from the numbers given by the Royal College of Emergency Medicine, undoubtedly people are dying because they're not being seen in A&E. He is killing people because he cannot do his job. Doctors have warned that they face one of the worst winters ever this festive period, and the A&E figures could plunge to record lows after that. Scottish Labour Health spokesman Jackie Brady said these statistics have revealed an NHS in crisis with patients being left in danger as a result. Michael Matheson must hang his head in shame for his abysmal failure to support NHS staff and keep patients safe. Yeah, but he's too busy sitting in his office on his iPad, cock out, knocking a banger out, because that's all he's good enough to do. He's certainly not doing his job, and given the sort of usage he's getting on his iPad, it's the only reasonable thought, isn't it? Tossing him off. It's despicable. He needs to resign. He needs to consider his position and go, but not go because of the iPad. Go because he's totally useless as a health minister. And then hand the iPad back and then maybe get prosecuted, certainly for fraud and possibly for worse. And there's Humza standing by him. Have you got no political nous? When you've got a problem like that, Humza, you distance yourself. Like a lot of his colleagues are already. There's a lot of people in the SNP backing off slowly, not wanting to get too closely aligned with someone who may be guilty of some of the worst things. But not Humza. No idea, has he? Anyway, I'll round off there and come up. Now, we do have to put things into perspective and remember that this is the SNP. These are the people who welcome back Patrick Grady, despite him touching other people's children. These are the people who covered up, all the way up to Peter Murrell, the crimes and offences of Jordan Linden. And they tried to get away with, he inappropriately touched one person. It turns out there was many, and it's possible grooming. And that went all the way up the tree to as far, as I say, as Peter Murrell. This is the Mark Kerrs of the world. This is the ones that hide all sorts of nasty, terrible crimes against people and children sometimes. These are the people that have sent out questionnaires to 5-year-olds to find out how 5-year-olds enjoy touching themselves. These are the people who are trying to sexualise children. So none of it should ever come as a surprise. But it really should be still looked upon badly at least in public for the optics. Even if your intention is to normalise this kind of thing, you shouldn't rush towards it and sort of stand by a man who may well have some very nasty stuff on his iPad. But what do you know? That's what the P stands for, isn't it? Pervs, predators and pedos. That's all the SNP seem to be. Anyway, I shall stop there. Thank you very much for watching. We'll move on. We'll give him a break. I've got another video to come, I think, or possibly two. It depends on the day. See how the day runs away with me. Still got loads of stories, but they'll probably have to wait till tomorrow now. Anyway, thank you very much for watching. Do keep watching. This story is going to run. You can't believe Humza would back him. Anyway, till next time, stay safe, stay well. I will speak to you later. Bye.